back in 1999, Lode Runner 3D was released for the Nintendo 64. And I must confess, I didn't even know it existed until just the other day when I picked this game up. Let's pop it in the old N64 and take a look at how it looks today. And before this game actually starts and I get into the review, I'd like to say a couple of words. First, thanks to all my subscribers. I have reached a milestone. I now have over 1,000 subscribers. Bravo! And the other thing I'd like to mention is I've gotten a lot of heat for how I say Nintendo 64. The fact that I abbreviate it N64. And that has to do with, I don't know, probably laziness in my speech. But really, I'm of the camp of who gives a shit. But a lot of people seem concerned that I pronounce it the proper way of N64. And you know what I say to those people? I say f*** them. In fact, just for those people, I'm going to just start calling this thing the 4. I'm dropping the N and the 60 and the 6. So from now on, this console is going to be called the 4. Anyhow, let's move on with the review. Enough of me ranting. Okay, Lode Runner 3D is something that I didn't think could exist. I mean, honestly, I was a huge fan of Lode Runner back in '83 when the game first came out on just about, I don't know, all computers at the time. And there was a few game systems I think may have had the game also. But this game gained a lot of popularity as a computer game. And rightly so. I mean, Lode Runner was the quintessential platformer, and it was it just had incredibly fun and incredibly challenging gameplay. So we fast forward to 1999, where 3D gameplay is all the rage, and someone decided to translate this game, Lode Runner, into the 3D world. And I might add that it was done pretty well. I'm sure this game got little, if any, attention when it was first released. But if you're a big fan of platformers and a big fan of puzzle games, this is for you. Now, the gameplay itself is mostly unchanged from the original concept of Lode Runner. And the goal is to basically traverse a course without getting killed. And in this version of the game, you have to pick up these little gold symbols along the way, and if you pick up enough gold symbols, you open up a transporter to take you out of the level. Now, in the original, you were able to drill a hole in the platform, and doing so allowed your enemies to fall into the hole and you could walk on top of them. If you yourself fell into the hole would eventually fill in and kill you. And that holds true in this game, except for the only platforms in this game that you can drill a hole into are the purple ones. And like the original game, the one limitation you have to moving your character about is that you can't jump. So that just adds to the challenge of the gameplay. In fact, if you could jump, this game would be pointless. Now let me talk a little bit about controls. Use the Nintendo 64 joystick thumbstick deal to control your character. The other various buttons on the controller mostly move camera angles around. And the exception to that are the A and B buttons and the Z trigger button. The Z trigger button activates your blaster or laser or whatever the hell it is that actually wipes out the purple blocks. In the original game, I think it was called a drill, but it doesn't look really like a drill in this game. And there are other items you can pick up and use as you advance in further levels. And those are used by the A and B buttons. And that's about it. Gameplay in its most simplest form. And that's a good thing. Because the only thing worse than bad gameplay is crappy controls. Many good games have been ruined by bad controlling experiences. Now let me talk a little bit about how many levels there are in this game. Let's start with the fact that there's 5 worlds in this game, and in those 5 worlds there are 5 stages, and in each of those stages there are 4 levels itself. That leaves a total technically of, I think, 100 levels. It's an incredible amount of gameplay for an old Nintendo 64 game. So if you happen to have a Nintendo 64 and you happen to come across Lode Runner 3D, don't poo-poo it. It's actually a pretty good game, especially if you're a fan of puzzle games or you enjoyed the original Lode Runner. I definitely recommend this game. I'm Dommy from Classic Games Revisited. Until next time.